Hello everybody and welcome to NGS. I am Jason. We got a huge A-Division match for you guys tonight. Macroroni and Cheese versus Triton Heroes. And we got both teams in the lobby, just waiting to make sure both of these teams are ready to go. And we'll be off to the races here. We did already do the coin flips, and I will go over those for you guys real quick here. Macroroni and Cheese won the toss, and they're going to be taking us to Infernal Shrines first, and Triton Heroes choosing the Cursed Hollow for the map of choice here. Volskaya banned out by Mac and Cheese. Tomb of the Spider Queen banned out by Triton. Okay. All right. Thank you very much for the host there. Much appreciated. Let me actually get up my stream labels. That'll help. All right. Oh, I actually have the teams lined up wrong, but if that doesn't matter to them, then I'm not too worried. Okay, I think they're good to go. So we'll just swap these up, and there we go. It only matters if... Yeah, of course, it always matters when you lose. All right, let's get this one underway. Thank you very much for joining me tonight, guys. Big match here in the A Division as we head towards these last few weeks here in season number 3. And we'll get these maps corrected as well. We got Infernal Shrines coming up first. Then we're going to be following that up with Cursed Hollow. Life of a caster, so much to do. I didn't even post it on social media. Bad me. But yes, Winter Hearts, thank you very much for the host. Much appreciated. And the PM's already coming out here. But first pick, first ban going over to Triton Heroes. My mom is awesome. Thank you very much for the follow. And I'd have to agree, your mom probably is pretty awesome. Why else would you name it that way? Really? So Triton Hero is going to have first pick, first ban here for Infernal Shrines. This is Macroroni and Cheese's map pick. And so instantly we're going to see the Genji hover. Genji very strong in the meta right now. Meanwhile, Macroroni and Cheese will have the option to ban out the Hanzo, or if they want to take something else off the board, they can do that as well. We did see a big match versus Team Caliber this week as well for Mac and Cheese. They were able to get a domination there over the second-ranked team in Div A. Utilizing some not-so-standard strats, such as the Cho'Gall, which was hilarious and also very, very effective. They will ban out the other Shimada brother, and we will not see either of the stronger damage dealers in the meta right now. Apparently Huff Money only plays Lucio. Who knew? Who knew? So interesting matchup between these two teams. Macroroni and Cheese tending towards, you know, sort of the macro play style. They do have good team fighting skills as well, but you know, generally they only fight when it's really necessary, and they take pretty intelligent fights that tend to go more towards the strategy of putting pressure on their opponents, putting them in bad situations. Meanwhile, Triton Heroes is also kind of that patient macro play style, but a lot of them is, you know, getting in the poke war, having the long drawn out team fight, and then having good setup and follow up. So Something's got to give here tonight. Both these teams undefeated in Div A. Undefeated meaning no losses, not no draws. But Mac and Cheese, of course, a little higher up on the standings right now with more dominations. But we are going to see Greymane coming out here for Triton Heroes as the first pick. Pretty standard first pick in the meta right now. Greymane, just an all-around good hero. Good at just about everything. Meanwhile, Macroroni and Cheese will have their pick of either of the really strong support players. They could pick up the ETC to start this off here. Or they could try to go with something a little bit more map-friendly, like a good solid amount of wave clear. So they have options. We'll have to see what exactly they want to prioritize to start off. The Lucio, always very strong if they want to go with that, or the Stukov. Definitely the two strongest supports in the game right now. They are gonna go with the ETC and the Lucio to start this off. So pretty meta, pretty standard of what you would expect to see. The Lucio is countered a little bit by the Greymane. Very burst-oriented hero, and can get in easily and get a lot of damage down onto a squishy target with that Dark Flight and the go for the throat. So I would expect Triton Heroes to respond here with some good burst damage of their own. We'll have to see if that's the direction they really want to go in. Burst damage can be a little bit tricky on Infernal Shrines because of the nature of the team fighting on the shrines, where heroes like Li Ming have a hard time getting damage in these shrine areas. Kael'thas is oftentimes picked here, but his damage, while it is sort of burst damage, it's not quite as bursty as some of the other heroes in the meta. Chromie, very popular here, could be a possible pickup here for Triton. But instead, they're going to prioritize the front line. So, again, Triton, a very setup-oriented team where their big thing is to, have those tanky frontliners up front do a very nice job of setting up for the backline to follow. And they've got very impressive carry play throughout the season for Triton Heroes. So Tyrael going to be picked up first. Tyrael's been very popular in the meta since his rework. We've seen him featured in most, if not all, of the HGC matches, at least from a banning or picking standpoint. And Garrosh, who has fallen off a little bit from where he was insta-banned in pretty much every Hero League game a few months ago before the big change to his Q. But now still very relevant in the meta. Not quite as strong, but still definitely hanging around. We are going to see Stukov being banned out here. So as soon as Mac and Cheese had that Lucio, you could expect them to go ahead and pick up, or ban out that Stukov after they had already picked up their healer and apply that healer chokehold. Stukov really the next best healer in the meta. There are a couple other ones that are still pretty strong. Alex Draza comes to mind. But a few different picks that they could go with. Triton Heroes, on the other hand, looking to ban out the Malthael, which is a good pickup. Is a good ban here for Garrosh and Tyrael, but I think they want to be cautious. I don't know how much they watched of Team Caliber, but we saw Macroroni and Cheese breaking out the Cho'Gall. It was paired with the Garrosh, but could still be paired with an ETC, and it was Lucio that they had healing, so I'll have to see if they want to break that out again here. Greymane is on the other side, and there it is, the Cho'Gall. They didn't catch me by surprise this time. So it's very good on Infernal Shrines. They played it last time on the on Tomb of the Spider Queen, which was actually the ban out map here for Triton. So instead, Triton banning that out so they can avoid the Cho'Gall cheese. But here it is. Macroroni and Cheese has brought the cheese to Infernal Shrines, which is another big wave clear map, which is very good for Gall. And again, that Lucio healing for the Cho'Gall. They followed that up with a Sonya in the this last time around. So we'll have to see if that's the direction Mac and Cheese wants to go again with a very forward aggressive style, and what exactly Triton wants to try to counter it with. And I wouldn't even call it a disrespect pick, to be honest with you, because I mean, this is not the first time they've done this week. You know, Macroroni and Cheese likes the Cho'Gall. We've even seen some Cho'Gall played in HGC. So it is going to be the Alexstrasza coming out and the Tychus. So Tychus, one of the strongest counters to the Cho'Gall. However, his short range makes it kind of dangerous for him to come in and get a lot of damage on the Cho'Gall. So it's got to be aided by a lot of lockdown, ideally. Not a ton over on the side of Triton. But they do also have post 10, that Cursed Bullet from Greymane. Tyrael can also be utilized for that invulnerability with Sanctification post 10. And Alexstrasza is a pretty decent support for trying to sustain Tychus when he's, you know, trying to stick on to somebody and stay alive. Alexstrasza kind of more burst heal oriented than sustain. She does have decent sustain healing, but you know, a lot of it's based around the burst of that Q and the circle. But yeah, not at all surprised to see the Cho'Gall come out and the Ragnaros to follow it up. So it is going to be yet again another strong melee. And that's the direction they're going to choose to go in here. And apparently they forgot to draft Kel'Thuzad, but Ragnaros also very strong here on shrines with that Molten Core. Good tool for trying to clear the shrine itself if the count is getting close or if you're wanting to get a lead. Also very good for defending against an enemy Punisher should the enemy team get the shrine. And so that is going to be our draft for game number 1. And if that's our draft for game 1, it's going to be quite a series, I imagine. The matchup does favor Mac and Cheese, but again, Triton Heroes has not lost a game yet. So we'll have to see who ends up taking this game number 1. It is Mac and Cheese's comp of choice so far this week that they've seen a lot of success with. There wasn't much resistance from Team Caliber when they played a very similar comp on Tomb, and this is their map choice as well, so we'll have to see how it comes out for them. But on the left, Triton Heroes, we're going to have Korkanov. It's going to be on the Tychus. Mom is Cool is going to be on the Garrosh. Glucose Twig on the Alexstrasza. Bezalius is going to be on the Tyrael. And we're going to have Clutchdock on the Greymane. Clutchdock, not a support player. What? For Mac and Cheese, we're going to have Winoni on the Cho'Gall. Laldotasotis is going to be on the Ragnaros. Jägermeister is going to be on the ETC. And Amon will be playing Lucio. So instantly we'll see both teams coming on into the mid, throwing out some sprays. We got some unicornage over here. We are going to see level 1 talents popping up here. And one thing I noticed right off the bat is Glucose Twig over on the side of Triton Heroes is going for that Globe Quest at 1, which can be very powerful here on Infernal Shrines. It's a very rotation-heavy map, especially in the beginning laning phase here. Very easy for them to rotate around. And we're going to see Tychus going with the Dash Quest. So, get a little extra movement speed. Looking for those globes as well. Interesting talent. Haven't seen that one around too often, but at least for me personally. We are going to see Jägermeister getting thrown out here. We'll have to slide, though, to be able to get out of trouble. In the top lane for the solo lane, it's going to be Tyrael versus Rag, which is a pretty interesting matchup there. Have to see how that one ends up working out. I would think it would favor the Rag, but I haven't really seen a whole lot of the new Tyrael in the solo support or in the solo lane. So we are going to see Amon getting caught out a little bit here. The throw is good, but a very nice peel from Jägermeister coming in there. Get him away, and Amon just barely missing from that cocktail there. Clutchdock almost hitting him with that. Don't know if it would have been enough to pick up the kill. Would have been a fair amount of damage, at least. So again, we just see the globe game. That's all that Triton Heroes is really doing right now. If they find somebody out, they will go ahead and utilize that Garrosh to try and toss. But now they're sniffing out the camp being taken. Winoni gets tossed over the wall, and Amon is not going to be able to stay there. Huge play from Mom is Cool. And that is going to be the steal on that camp. Man, I love that move. Very flashy. We are going to see My Mom is Cool getting a little bit of damage. Of course, the lower Garrosh gets, the more armor he receives, making it very easy for him to stay alive. Staying alive. For the side of Mac and Cheese, they continue the rotations, they continue the wave clear. They've actually gotten a little bit of a level lead. Not much here, but we're going to see the first shrine spawning here in the top lane. Lal Dota Sodas doing a nice job of keeping things clear up here. Getting a little bit of damage on the wall, but, you know, overall pretty negligible. Clutch Dock going to be up here for the soak. No danger from the rotation coming in. And this should be a pretty even opportunity for both of these teams for shrines. Would give slight advantage over to Mac and Cheese in the wave clear department with the Rag and the Gall. But Triton Heroes not exactly slouches for that either. And they are being very aggressive. The toss in onto Amon, and the blow up and follow up is good. And that is Triton Heroes' game right there. The toss from My Mom is Cool, and then the follow-up from the team. They're very good at isolating heroes, and this is exactly the comp, the kind of comp that they want to play. Rag is soaking in the other two lanes, so it's not like Mac and Cheese isn't getting anything out of this, but this is most likely going to end up being a shrine going over to Triton Heroes. They've gotten a decent lead, but actually Winoni staying in over here. And we're actually going to see the Molten Core popped as well as they dive in on Alex Straza. The return damage is decent, but with this Molten Core coming out, they are getting a lot of this shrine cleared, and so many members are getting low. Greymane is going to end up falling. And it looks like Tyrael is willing to try to die for this. He will go back in with the Alge Ruins, and they're just 2 away, 2 to 5. 3 grabbed, and the Arcane Punisher goes over to Mac and Cheese. Oh, they had 1 left to get on both sides. They both got to 39, and somehow Mac and Cheese comes back in this one using the Molten Core, using that wave clear, and they recover from losing Amon early in that as well to get the Punisher here. What a play! So we do see a ton of damage coming down onto the fort here, but they are going to be able to clear this up. But Glucose Twig getting out with just about 0 health. Wouldn't advise using the Q at that moment. But the fort is going to be grabbed here by Mac and Cheese. Cho'Gall typically in the past has been considered mostly an early game hero, but nowadays I think he does just fine in the late game as well. Especially, you know, he gets kind of a huge power spike at 16 when we see the percentage heal coming in from Lucio. So that Lucio talent at 16 gives him a huge power spike in terms of survivability. And level 10 achieved here. So again, superior rotation game. Macro play from Macroroni and Cheese. Who would have thought? They are able to secure that top fort, and through the side soaking now have a 2+ level lead. The level 10s are also in now. It is going to be Stage Dive, Sulfurous Smash, Sound Barrier, Shadow Bolt Volley, and Twilight, or Hammer of Twilight. I got to cheat a little bit with those Cho'Gall talents. I don't get to see him very often. But choosing not to go with the circle, but instead the volley, which can be a little bit tougher to get value from depending on your comp. If you have something that can have good displacement, such as a Garrosh, I could see the circle instead of the volley, but overall we'll have to see how this works out for them. They have captured this camp here in the bot. and they are pushing it in and getting some solid damage onto this bot fort. Now, of course, the next shrine phase is going to be in the mid, and Triton heroes should be able to pick up level 10, or they should be pretty close to it by the time this activates. But also, Mac and Cheese is going to be well on their way to 13, so they're probably not going to have it in time, but they're gonna be around there. They could decide to split soak and give the early shrine like we saw them on this last time around, and they could decide to just go directly in for that 13 to start, and then go after trying to catch up on the shrine again. They do have Molten Core available for this, along with every single one of their heroics. Oh, but we are going to see Mama's Cool getting caught out here a little bit. Amon has that speed, so this should be difficult for Garrosh to get out of this, as they're just diving straight in behind the core, behind everything. The stage dive coming in. We will see Cleansing Flame coming out. It is keeping Mama's Cool alive. We even see the Sanctification popped, and somehow Garrosh makes it out. Oh my goodness, the fort falls. That's a lot of heroics burned by both teams here, and no kills gained out of it. Level 10 has come in. We're going to see Commandeer Odin, Cleansing Flame, Sanctification, Cursed Bullet, and Warlord's Challenge for the side of Triton Heroes. Doesn't sing the song? What? We are going to see both teams going in after this altar, though. Oh, and the hammer not quite finding its mark, getting some damage out on the backside, but it's Tyrael and Greymane, the first to fall. Two members of Triton going down, and it looks like Mac and Cheese is going to be on the chase. They're looking to get Tychus down in that Odin, and they are able to get him a 0 for 3 exchange for the side of Mac and Cheese. They're going to pick up 13, and now they're going to be able to pick up this shrine very easily. They're going to have a Punisher, but meanwhile in the top lane, also Mac and Cheese had managed to pick up their camp, and it had pushed uncontested in the top. They get some extra damage here onto this front wall. They're also going to grab this camp while Ragnaros is finishing up the shrine. And are they going to stall this out at 39? They are. They decide to go ahead and stall it up, and this is brilliant. They're going to go ahead and take this camp. They're going to get some extra damage out onto the fort. Stage dive coming in to get him out of the bot lane there. Jägermeister in a little bit too deep, but now we'll be able to get the healing from Amon to come back up. And right now, the side of Triton trying to get an isolation, but a huge sound barrier coming out from Amon to be able to save Lol Dotasotus. A little bit of healing coming out as well, the self-healing, and a Sulfurous Smash coming in. He's trying to kite around the fort, but ultimately Ragnaros does end up falling. We also see the Sanctification coming out. They're trying to see if they can pick up a second kill here. Amon very low, trying to wall right around safely, but still taking some poke, and we'll be able to help speed Mac and Cheese out of this situation. Triton Heroes does end up getting a pick, but now Mac and Cheese can just drop back. They can heal up. They can wait for Ragnaros to come back, and they can get this. Shrine anytime they please. And all Triton Heroes can really do is try to accelerate that timeline. They can go in on the shrine. They can clear up some of these minions, but at the end of the day, Mac and Cheese just has too many. They're never really going to be able to grab this away from them. So we're going to see both teams prioritizing camps, trying to push out the lanes, just trying to get prepared for when Mac and Cheese does inevitably force this. But the problem is, Triton Heroes is going to get 13 out of this, but Mac and Cheese is going to end up with the opportunity to soak towards 16. They actually proc it a little bit early. They could have tried to side soak until 16, but ultimately they decide to go ahead and grab it. It's going to be pushing right onto the front wall of this keep, and they have a ton of pressure. Stage dive is up, but we can see ETC come in whenever he's ready, and he's going to stage dive aggressively. Jägermeister going all the way in. Does get hit by the Warlord's Challenge, but the snipe on the back end, that Sulfurous Smash coming in from Lol Dotasotus, picking up the Alexstrasza. The Punisher diving in on the backside. They clear up the wall, and Jägermeister will be free to walk out whenever he pleases now. But the keep is taking a ton of damage. Triton Heroes looking to try and counter-engage here. Korkinoff popping that Commandeer Odin, but the Shadow Bolt volley coming out from Winoni. And they are going to be able to pick up the Greymane along with this keep, and they're diving in deep. They're not done yet. Mama's Cool is going to go down. And a 2-for-0 exchange so far. Actually, 3-for-0. Alex Straza was dead, has come back. On the side of Mac and Cheese, looking to end the game right here. They're going on the core. The shields are falling so rapidly here. A 4-level lead. Mac and Cheese coming out with the Cho'Gall. Triton Heroes not choosing to ban it in that second ban phase. So they're going to go ahead and pick it up and pick up a win here on Infernal Shrines. GG for Mac and Cheese. It's a pretty big win for Mac and Cheese as they continue their dominance here in the A division. Not a whole lot of team fighting, but once that Cho'Gall really came online with 16, and we got the 16 talent here from Lucio. That is really the difference. That percentage-based healing, so much more sustain, and they were able to just push in for the finish there. That's really all they were building towards, and that huge pick on the backside from Ragnaros, that nice snipe, really preventing Triton from being able to step up without their support, and just ultimately able to take a big win here in game number 1. So let's go ahead and set up the lobby here for game number 2 for you guys. We're going to be going to Cursed Hollow, which is really one of my favorite maps. It does favor macro play. So again, I kind of expect Macroroni and Cheese to have a bit of an advantage here, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see how that actually shapes out. Question is, will we see the Cho'Gall ban? Mac and Cheese has been playing that pretty well. It's not as good on Cursed Hollow, but we could see it. Could be a thing. I don't really like it on this map, but we'll see. So how's everybody doing tonight? Kind of a late night cap, but at the end of the day, when they scheduled it, so hey. Right, so let's see how we're doing here. We got everybody in. We'll make sure we got everybody on the right side here. Okay. Trying to troll the casters. Actually, only one. There's only one caster. All right, let's head on in. Game number 2. We played out here on Infernal Shrines. First pick, first ban. This time around, going to Mac and Cheese. Triton Heroes picking this map up for themselves. We'll have to see what they have in store for the #1 team in the land. Alex Straza going to be the ban out here for Mac and Cheese, which is interesting. Respect ban coming out. I do lack a co-caster, Dankstrom. You're right. I apologize. I did get your message. I had already started everything and gotten everything rolling, so it was kind of too late to add. But we're going to have to cast together soon. It would be quite fun. I agree. I'll have to do it. But either way, Triton Heroes hovering the Arthas, which is interesting. This is going to be a double Shimada special. So they're going to go ahead and go with the Abathur ban. So, of course, Abathur very strong here on Cursed Hollow. And we're going to see the Hanzo coming out as the first pick for Mac and Cheese. Not a big surprise. Two picks coming up here for Triton to respond. You would expect the Genji to come out, but it'll depend on what exactly they want to play. We do know that Triton plays Genji. They have a very strong Genji player on their side. So they are going to go ahead and go in with the Genji and the Lucio to follow it up. So Lucio, a very strong counter to the Genji and his Dragon Blade with that sound barrier. So instead, they're going to go ahead and pick up both at the same time to deny the pick. For the side of Mac and Cheese, we also saw some pretty solid Lucio play coming out from Amon this last game for Mac and Cheese. So I like that denial there. But Mac and Cheese will just pick up the Tyrael, who's been incredibly strong in the format lately. And Greymane as well. So very meta picks coming out for the first half of this draft. No big cheese, just more standard style play. And a lot of damage coming out from Mac and Cheese. If Hanzo can hit some good solid geometry, good arrow damage, Greymane could be great follow-up. Tyrael, also pretty divey, can go in and try and set up for some of those kills. And we've seen Sanctification just be very, very strong, especially with heavy dive like the Greymane. We've seen some pretty stellar arrow plays coming out since Hanzo's release. Big AoE stun ability. The question now for Triton Heroes is, what do they want to ban out? The good news is that Mac and Cheese only has 2 picks left and doesn't have a support, so we're not going to see the Cho'Gall coming out, more than likely. So they don't really have to worry about banning that out. They can choose their ban for something else. And not having a... Yeah, that's what I like better. So they hovered the ETC. They were about ready to go with the ETC, but instead, last minute, they changed it to Stukov. The ETC could have been good. No main tank over on the side of Mac and Cheese right now, so I see how that pairs. Also, could have been something that Triton Heroes decided they would rather have as the ETC, so they forced the ban out for Mac and Cheese for that ETC. But denying the Stukov is probably the strongest play here. They already have Lucio. Alex Strauss is already off the table. Chokehold the healers and force the side of Mac and Cheese to play with somebody that's not in the top 3 for competitive healers right now. So we are going to see Triton Heroes having 2 more picks here. We'll have to see what direction they want to go to try and set up the Genji. You know, we've seen them play some Johanna for it. But there really are a lot of different directions that they go. They do go with the Cassia and the Arthas. So Cassia pairing pretty well with the blinds. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is main tank Cassia to close out this draft for Triton Heroes. Meanwhile, Macroroni and Cheese gonna have 2 picks coming up here. They definitely need a support. Wouldn't be surprised to see possibly the Brightwing to try and counter out the Genji with that polymorph. Could also see the Rhaegar as a more standard pickup, though his healing numbers have not been great. His Ancestral can be super impactful. Uther, maybe a more standard pickup. And they probably still need their frontline / well, they can either make Tyrael the solo laner and go with another tank, or they can go with a solo laner and make Tyrael the main tank. So options for Mac and Cheese here. Personally, I think they need another frontline tank. I think denying the Johanna could be a good pickup here. Diablo could be very strong. They will go with the Brightwing and the Blaze coming out. So forgot Nexus's newest hero. Very strong potential solo laner. So, you know, looking at this comp, I don't know who the solo laner is here for Mac and Cheese. Blaze, probably stronger in the wave clear department, so I probably would go with him being the solo lane. But Tyrael can do the job as well. I would say Blaze is a little bit more tanky. But we also have 2 kind of off tanks here for Mac and Cheese. You know, Tyrael and Blaze, some of the lower health pools. Well, not so much Blaze, but you know, they're both considered more bruiser style than main tank style. So we'll have to see how that turns out for them. They definitely got high damage. It's quite a lot of damage in those 4 members for Mac and Cheese. The Triton having one last pick here. I think Johanna is the best choice, but there are a couple of options. They could also go Diablo. I take it back. They're gonna choose to just swing around the other side, let Arthas be the main tank, and they're not going to go with the second tank. They're going to go with the second support. So really looking to enable that Genji, really, and the Cassia as well. Depending on Cassia for quite a lot of damage here. I don't know. I don't know if I like it, but I'm willing to be convinced here by Triton Heroes that this is the right answer. There's not been very many answers to really compete with Mac and Cheese this season, so maybe this is the one. All right. We are loading in here. The Cursed Hollow. Definitely one of my favorite maps. One of the OG maps here in Heroes of the Storm. Heavy reliant on camp timing.
Prepare yourself for battle, heroes.
Here we go. On the left, Triton Heroes. My Mom is Cool is going to be on the Genji. Glucose Twig on the Uther. Bezalius is going to be on the Arthas. Clutch Dock on the Lucio. And Korkinoff on the Cassia. There we go, Clutch Dock. You're on a healer. That makes sense. It makes sense. On the right, Macroroni and Cheese. They got me. They got me with the Macroroni. Winter Hearte is going to be on the Hanzo. Lol Dotasotis is going to be on the Greymane. Jägermeister on Tyrael. Huff Money on Blaze and Amon. It'll be on Brightwing. And right away, Jägermeister coming up, looking to dismount some members there. That odds ruins. The poke war has begun. Neither team's sending anybody out to lane. So right away, we will see the wave clear coming out. Strong wave clear from Mac and Cheese. They're able to get in and get some good damage out to clear those minions. And they'll start rotating away. The Tyrael is going to be the choice for the solo laner for Mac and Cheese. We'll send Jägermeister up to the top lane. Meanwhile, Winter Hearte with a quick rotation to the bottom, and instantly you see the good macro coming out from Triton Heroes. Or from, I should say, from Macroroni and Cheese. Though not bad from Triton Heroes. They do get their heroes here well in time to go ahead and get the job done here. For Mac and Cheese, we are going to see camp insta-started here by the Hanzo. Pretty quick rotation, though, for Triton as well. Both teams prioritizing the siege camps to start this off. So we are going to see both teams still having good priority in lane. They're still managing to soak all of these lanes while getting these camps started. We're going to see 2 members of Mac and Cheese rotating to the camp here to get this pushing in mid, and soon see that first tribute coming out with the camps. So we'll have to see. Let's see where everybody decides to prioritize. Triton Heroes not choosing to grab their camp in this phase. So we'll be at a bit of a disadvantage with that pressure in the mid. Meanwhile, Mom is cool. Gonna have some hard time dealing with these siege giants, so we'll see Korkanoff coming down to go ahead and clear. Good call. Enough money staying safe in the protection of his own bush on that side there. Camp pushing into mid, though. But we will see the tribute spawning in the top. So they've got 30 seconds to clean this up. But Mac and Cheese is not going to let him clear it for free. 3-man push in the mid here. They're going to be able to get the front wall. Going to have about a level lead going into this first tribute phase, which is pretty strong. Also, a couple members of Triton low here. Clutch Doc missing quite a lot of health. And it looks like for now, Triton Heroes might be planning on not even contesting for this first tribute. Instead, cleaning up the lane here in mid. Jägermeister getting caught out a little bit here. Mom is cool, is on him, but tough money will come in from the side, and Jägermeister will be just fine. Clutchdock, on the other hand, might not be able to say the same for him. Huff Money getting him very low and able to finish him off there with that oil. And Lucio gets blazed. Ouch. Hurts. First blood going over to Mac and Cheese. And we are going to be seeing level 7 picked up here for Macroroni. And they are going to also definitely be winning that race to 10. So this next tribute phase should be on even talent tier. Should be an opportunity for Triton to contest. But the following one will be interesting. I suspect that Macroroni and Cheese will have their level 10s by that time, based on their soaking so far and the fact that they have globals with the Brightwing. Also, a huge camp invade here. I'm not sure Triton's going to make it. Seems like they might be falling a little bit too far behind, but we do see the TP in here and a full battle coming out here. Glucose Twig getting very low. He will be the first to fall, but that is Uther, so he does have the ability to heal his team through, but ultimately Korkanoff is going to end up falling here on the wrong side of town. Mom is cool coming in on the backside, though, trying to help out, but they are able to get the Hanzo down. Also worth noting that Tyrael had fallen there, and it goes down to Huff Money, the bloodbath in the mid, but the Blaze comes out on top. Overall, ends up being a 4-for-2 exchange. 4-for-3 exchange, pardon me. But in favor of Mac and Cheese, and they will be able to cap there. It's also going to accelerate the XP a little bit for both teams. Mac and Cheese will definitely have the opportunity to pick up 10 before this next tribute phase, which is a good break for them because this tribute is going to be in kind of this defensive posturing for the side of Triton Heroes. So having that 10 advantage is going to be big, but will they have Huff Money? And the huge charge out. Clutchdock was in position there to try and get the boop. But we are seeing the camp picked up on the top end, so boss being grabbed. Winterheart has so much boss damage with that, with that scatter arrow. Seeing once again Huff Money being collapsed on there. Will pop his ult. TP coming down from Amon, able to get here in time, and Mom is cool going down there on the Genji. And that is not the moment you want to lose one of your main tools for stalling out the Trib. They didn't have level 10 though, about a half level away, and this is a brilliant power play here from Macroroni and Cheese. They're going to be able to capture the second boss in the bot lane to pair with the one in top. And we're gonna see them grabbing the curse, and this is a back-breaking moment. If you're Triton heroes, you are being assaulted on all sides. Your forts are not even here to help you anymore. They're not even shooting. What is going on here? Forts throwing, but it's this bad. They've got the Uther, having to solo the Uther up top there. Lucio falling in the bot lane. Arthas also going down. And Mac and Cheese is pretty much just doing whatever they want at this point. Without level 10s, Triton heroes just cannot contest them. And we are going to see the keep falling in the bot lane here. So this still full health boss. And they could definitely be going after Core. After that, Kenji is able to get out there. Nice cleanse coming in from Glucose Twig, but Lol Dota Sodas says not so fast, my friend. And does get in there to get the finishing kill. Sound barrier on the other side, but Amon will come in with a huge... oh, man. Arthas goes down. It's a huge... man, I'm forgetting the name of the ability all of a sudden. But, yeah, there we go. Emerald Wind. Duh. But meanwhile, that doesn't really matter. The core going down. They got the kills there. Nice split from that Emerald Wind, but ultimately... kills coming down, too much pressure, and Mac and Cheese gets out with a quick 2-0 here on a Saturday night. Just incredible play coming out from them all around. Only giving up the one Tyrael kill when they were... Tyrael. Really, you know, the only... well, not the only. I take it back. Well, I'm crazy. 12-3. But, domination in both of these games by Mac and Cheese. They are making a statement here in the A division week after week that they're clearly, you know, just a small cut above the rest in the A division. And it'll be interesting to see if anybody's got anything for them down the stretch and moving into the playoffs. We'll have to look to see exactly how close Mac and Cheese is to clinching their playoff spot. We're going to be coming out with another NGS breakdown for you guys on Monday with the weekly recap. So we'll go over some of the playoff implications coming up from this next week. A little early to go over all of those for all the divisions because there's still a few too many scenarios. But we'll be starting to look at that over the next couple weeks. And congratulations once again for Mac and Cheese coming out tonight, getting a big domination. And for NGS, I'm Jayzon. I'll see you guys next time. Have a good night.